What were you grossly unprepared for as an adult? Going from having tons of friends to really having no one. This is the worst part to me. Being with friends is what gave meaning to my life throughout my entire childhood and teen years. So now that it's all gone, it feels like my life has lost its meaning and purpose, and I'm kind of lost in limbo. I've reached the stage of being apathetic and not really enjoying being alive anymore, because it feels kinda pointless now. Loss. As time passes and you become an adult, there are two guarantees. 1. The adults that shaped you, whom you love and adore, also get older. Older and sicker and will die, hopefully later but sometimes so much sooner than you would ever imagine. And 2. Peers and folks younger than you will die too, often with little to no rhyme or reason. My parents would say growing up that death is a part of life. But I'm not sure there is any way to prepare for really understanding that fact until you experience it yourself as you grow up. It happened when I was 19 the first time. I've lost 3 close friends now. All suddenly from accidents or their own doing. Too many family members to count because it's not just the ones you're born with, you also marry into more. You will lose many pets over the years and refrain a bit before getting one because you know you will have to bury it someday. While watching all of this over the years, you start noticing how your body and mind don't work like they used to, so death starts being more on your conscience than it's ever been. Petty things like the self-image you project onto other people don't matter much. You realize life is and always was about the intangibles in life that you can never replicate. It's the memories and relationships you had that made your life better, and not the possessions you owned. I love being older because I've finally become the person I was always going to be and don't need to be anything different. I will die in the coming decades, but I at least know who I am, and it makes me happier than most things in life. I had just turned 21 when my grandpa passed away from cancer. It was the first time I've had to deal with the loss of a family member I was actually close to, and it wrecked me. The man had been by my side my entire life up until this point, but I couldn't be by his as he took his last breaths, and that really eats me up inside. If I had known that would have been his last day on earth, I would have skipped work. His funeral was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. He was a Navy veteran, so they played taps during his burial and did a 21-gun salute. I bawled the entire time. The only thing harder than maintaining my composure was watching Grandma lose hers. 3 years later and it still doesn't feel right to go see Grandma and Grandpa's not there. It doesn't feel right to have lunch at Freddy's and he's not sitting across from me. It doesn't feel right having to call a repairman to fix something, because he could fix just about anything. His recliner is now in my living room, but it doesn't feel right to sit in it. It's like Archie Bunker's chair. I also can't listen to Desperados Waiting for a Train by Highwaymen. I just can't make it to the end of that song before the waterworks start. You never get over it. You just learn to live with it. What were you grossly unprepared for as an adult? How much I still feel like a kid on the inside. God, I'm 64 and I think that thought almost literally every day. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Life is serious business, but being serious about everything all the time sure ain't how I want to live. I pretty much try to clear the decks as often as I can so I can just have fun. It's gotten worlds easier since I retired in 2020. You know the biggest shocker for me? At some point people stop reminding you what you need to do, where to be, brush your teeth, make doctor's appointments, etc. I don't feel older, or grown up, I just feel a bit more lost and I don't know what to do. I definitely feel this. I still get giddy over cool toys at the store, I still prefer dinosaur nuggets to regular ones. Hell, I remember when I was going home from the hospital with my son and kind of panicked like how the fuck am I supposed to do this? I'm not qualified for this shit. I have no idea what I'm doing. Now I'm here having arguments with my 5-year-old about dumb shit daily and have to remind myself that I've got 22 years on him and he has none of life experience I do. despite the fact we both just got excited over ice cream and Toy Story. I'm pushing 40 and still waiting for the adult side to kick in. Otherwise I'm walking around hoping no one else catches on that I have to fucking clue what I'm doing. What were you grossly unprepared for as an adult? How much harder it is to make friends. Work, hobbies and church are the other ways to make friends. If you don't have any hobbies that get you out and aren't religious, then work is really the only place you meet other people during the week. And if you work from home you're just fucked. Basically this. It really starts to suck when you become deeply depressed due to your lack of friends, which makes it much harder to want to find hobbies and also makes you less enjoyable to be around, which makes it even harder to make friends and in turn worsening your depression. It's a self-perpetuating cycle that I think a lot of adults find themselves stuck in at one time or another. I found some friends off the internet and off some events I went to. Just find a forum or a Discord group of people who are interested in the same thing as you and you just may make some friends. What were you grossly unprepared for as an adult? Choosing what to eat every day of my life. For many years my thought process went like this. Day 1, pizza. Day 2, pizza was good, let's do pizza again. Day 3, I can't think of a single argument against pizza. Day 4000, why does my body feel like it's undergoing total organ failure? I literally gave myself motherfucking scurvy with a primarily Dorito-based diet. I was in the throes of really heavy depression at the time, and didn't so much eat meals as graze listlessly on whatever easy calories were within range. Eventually, I began feeling really sick and exhausted, with random body pains and a notable decrease in quality of hair and nails. Being depressed, I figured, dying tragically is no worse than living tragically, and continued perpetuating my ugly existence by means of corn snacks. And then one rare night I went out to a party, got hammered on screwdrivers, and woke up feeling far better than getting hammered on screwdrivers usually elicits. One realization later, I didn't really do anything differently, but occasionally supplemented my depression with a multivitamin. One of the most depressing parts of adulthood. I can eat ice cream for dinner. I will both physically and emotionally regret eating ice cream for dinner. My 11-year-old self did not understand this reality. The rule at my house is that if I have to ask what do you want 3 times, I'm making rice and beans or chicken and rice. My wife isn't a huge fan of rice but I am, so I think a penalty helps her get over her decision paralysis. So just figure out a cheap easy meal, and make that if you don't know what to eat. At a certain point, you'll get tired of it and want to make something else just to shake it up,